Welcome to the Lovestead.
Hello, welcome back to the Lovestead Reads. My name is Jessica. This is a vlog. It's Monday, November 13th, and I am currently reading Sidetracked by St. Abby. This is book 2 in the Mind F series. It's about a woman who's a serial killer. She's killing people, taking revenge for something that happened in her past. And she falls in love with an FBI agent who's hunting her. And he doesn't realize that she's the serial killer he is looking for. It's a really interesting series, and the installments in the series are fairly short little novellas. So this is number 2. I'm also currently reading Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. My mind went blank there for a second. It's book 1 in the Song of Fire and Ice series, which is what the TV show The Game of Thrones is based on. I'm about 60% of the way through that and really loving it. I don't know if I'm going to pick up Sidetracked or Game of Thrones tonight. Just will depend on my mood. And on audiobook, I picked up The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells, which is a short classic sci-fi novella. JanAgaton hosted a readathon for her Patreons this past weekend, and the readathon was focused on classics. And I had picked this one up to read for the readathon and didn't get to it, but I still am going to read it because it's very, very short. It's an hour long on audio. So I will read that while I do chores tonight. And yeah, it's Monday the 13th. I'm going to get logged in and get to work at my full-time job. And that's the check-in. Hello, it is Tuesday. I am on my lunch break. Wanted to do a quick reading check-in. Yesterday I read War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. I gave it 3 stars. I don't really have any thoughts about it. I mean, it's a sci-fi story. I don't know. Sci-fi doesn't interest me that much. I just really struggle to get into sci-fi. If you're going to read War of the Worlds, what I do recommend is listening to the theatrical audiobook version. That made it much more interesting than it would have been otherwise. It made it kind of fun because it felt like actual radio production. But I mean, I have zero feelings about War of the Worlds. I read it. That's a book that I read. Next, I picked up on audio In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. This is an adult dark academia thriller, and it's set at Duquesne University. This friend group of really rich kids who are in sororities and fraternities, and one of their friends dies, and it's dual timeline. They're back at the university for homecoming, in the future, and this death of this friend keeps coming up, and it's they're still trying to solve who murdered this person. So it goes back and forth between the dual timelines. I am enjoying it so far. It is centered around rich sorority and fraternity kids, which I really don't identify with at all. I was never in a sorority or a fraternity or just that class of people. And I like the story, but these are just, they're not my people. You know what I mean? I absolutely loved my college days. Best years of my life, you know what I mean? But I didn't hang out at frat houses. I was with the theater kids, the artsy kids, the protesters, the political people. That was my college experience, and that's very, very different from the experience being depicted here. It's interesting they mentioned Chi Omega, that sorority, because My grandma and my aunties were all Chi Omega sisters, and so there's a connection, I guess, but I never had any desire to rush for a sorority, never had any desire to go to any of the parties or be that kind of a person. So the characters are not relatable for me, but the story is interesting, and I really like how some of them are developing as people and some of the struggles that they're going through being a part of this like economic class, because some people are like faking being rich and other people are doing shady things to get their money. And it's an interesting look at just that group on a college campus of a school that's a little bit of a, it's not an Ivy League school, but it's a more difficult school to get into. So, I'm enjoying it so far. There have been some points in the writing where I wish I had it as a physical read so that I could actually note some of the quotes and things like that. So, liking it. I don't know when I'll finish it, but that's what I'm currently reading on audiobook. And then I am about 60% of the way through Sidetracked by St. Abby, which is book 2 in the My Nev series, and it's a fun ride. It does not take itself seriously. I feel like there are some things that I'm questioning, like, okay, why is Lana so in love with this fella? Like, based on her past and her experiences and her current, like, psychological state, it doesn't totally add up that she would be falling for Logan, at least for me. I find myself kind of pulled out of the story being like, okay, why? That doesn't make sense based on her experiences. But I think it just goes back to the concept that this book series doesn't take itself seriously. Like, it's really intended just to be like a fun exploration of what would happen if this scenario should occur. And like, it's just supposed to be a fun time. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to think that deeply about it. And like, my problem with romance is sometimes that I just think about it too much. And these people have to be real people. And it has to like make sense in my head for them to fall in love, for me to be like, really, really invested in a romantic relationship or a romance story. And so that it keeps pulling me out of the story, and it's not the book's fault. It's not intended to be a deep psychological study. It's meant to be a good time. So it's a me issue. It's not a book issue. But it's sort of in the 3-star zone right now. I'll probably finish it here pretty quickly because it is just a short little book. So that's the reading update. Yesterday, Monday, I just worked, and then I did farm chores, and then I came home and I did pet chores. I made a really good homemade pizza from scratch. It was super tasty. And then I just read and watched BookTube and hung out. So it was a very quiet evening, and looking to be a similar day here today. Like I said, I'm on my lunch break. So after work at my full-time job, I'll go do my farm chores and then come home and do my house chores, my pet chores, and cleaning. I'm going to have leftover pizza for dinner, and then probably just another quiet night reading, booktubing. I've been working on rearranging my bookshelves to try to get it prepared for the new year and like starting my stats over fresh in the new year. So I've been working on that. That's about it. This is going to be a fairly uneventful vlog, I feel like, but for some reason, y'all still seem to enjoy that. So there it is. That's the check-in. I got a Fuji apple salad again from Panera, but in my defense, the vlog where I asked for your Panera recommendations has not gone up on the channel yet, so I didn't have any of your combo recs to try out. So I
went with a tried and true. Look at Pippi down there. She's so cute. Having to work a little bit yet here before I call it a night. Just got back from the barn in Panera. So I am going to enjoy my salad and catch up on some booktube while I work for a bit.
Has gone through so much, and I love that she has Walker in her corner to take up for her. So yeah, obviously I gave this a 5-star. Again, McKay, I just love you and I'm so proud of you.
What's up, it's Jan back at it again with another nerdy bookish video. This is gonna be a weekly reading vlog. Not sure what I'm reading yet, but welcome.
Come on.
Hello and happy Wednesday. It's my long day at work and I'm on my dinner break having a nice little turkey sandwich with a pickle and some cottage cheese. So yesterday I finished Sidetracked by St. Abby, which is book 2 in the Mind F series, and I gave it 3.5 stars. It was just a whole lot of fun. A whole lot of fun. You know, there's some decisions made by Lana that I don't think fully line up with what someone who had experienced what she experienced would actually do. But it's just a fun time, and I'm trying to let it go and just have a fun time. So one thing I had fun with in this installment was just how like playful Lana is with her deviance. Like, she's something. She's really an interesting character, and I've been thinking about like if there was a crossover with the Devil's Night series by Penelope Douglas, who Lana would get along with the best. And I think she and Damon Torrance would be like the best of friends because they have shared trauma. They both have like this really dark side, and then they have a soft spot too. So I think they would be really interesting friends, and I kind of wish there was a crossover series now. Another fun thing with this book is there is a second serial killer happening with the story now, and then there's like this twist at the end involving this second serial killer, and I'm really excited to see where St. Abby goes with it in the 3rd book. Having that second serial killer in the story really is feeling a lot like the Sinners. Is it the Saints and Sinners? Or There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark, which is her duet about serial killers who fall in love. And that's a really good dark romance duet if you like serial killer stories. Yeah, it was kind of reminding me of that a little bit. So 3.5 stars for Sidetracked. I think for the rest of this vlog, I'm really going to focus on finishing A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin because I only have like 300 pages left. And I think if I really buckle down, I can get through it this week. And then I'll pick up some new books in the next vlog. If you have watched some of my previous vlogs, I've been reading this for a while now. Game of Thrones is very much about political machinations. Everybody vying for the throne, and betrayal and secrets and all these little shady shadow government moves to try and get a certain family into power. And my favorite character is Ned Stark, but stuff is happening. I have felt since about page 200 that there's like been major foreshadowing that something terrible is going to happen to Ned. And we're at a part where there are some things happening where a major character has died, and now there's some important things shifting and happening in the kingdom, like at the place, like the landing or whatever they call it, King's Landing. So some things are happening at King's Landing, and like Arya Stark is on the run, and Sansa's kind of locked in her tower, and it just I feel like my heartbreak that I have predicted coming for a while is just around the corner. I'm not going to spoil anything, so I won't tell you if my prediction comes true or not. If you've read the story or probably seen the TV show, you probably know whether my prediction comes true or not. But I feel like something terrible is going to happen to my favorite character. Because isn't George R. Martin like known for doing that anyway? So yeah, my favorite character is Ned Stark because he's got so much integrity. But when you have integrity in a political landscape, that doesn't always work well for you. So it's not working well for him. And then I would say my second favorite character is Tyrion Lannister. My third favorite character is Arya. And fourth would be Jon Snow. But there's like 4 or 5 books out now. Watch every single one of my favorite characters get unalived or something like that, right? Isn't that how this works? Isn't that the complaint about this series? So that's going to be my focus, is finishing up this series. I really like how creepy the wall is in the north, and like this others, like all these legends around what the others are, and like they're like these supernatural creatures, but none of the people in the story really fully know what the others are. So like we as readers don't know. We're just like working with myths and legends and like trying to pick up on little context clues here and there, and it's super creepy, and I definitely want to know more about what these things are in the north, beyond the wall. So that's where I'm at with Game of Thrones, what I'll focus on in the vlog. This morning I had to drop Cherry off at the vet just for some tests to make sure she's good. She's an old gal. She's 14. She's had some like kidney issues and things like that. I think she dropped a little bit of weight, so I just wanted to get her checked out because I'm super paranoid. And I just want to make sure she's okay. She's acting fine. Like, she's not acting sick or anything like that. But I get paranoid just because I love them, I think, you know? And then what else can I tell you today? I went for a walk with the dogs. It's like 50 degrees. It feels way too warm to be the middle of November. In Iowa, November is usually getting into like more winter weather. Like we often will even have snow. And I really don't like climate change. I don't like how warm our seasons are getting. And I wish there was snow. And there wasn't today, but there are some pretty leaves. And I mean, it's like pretty fall weather. I'm ready for like frigid temps and snow and ice, because I'm a winter gal. But that's just me, and I think I'm a rare one. I don't think many people like winter, at least nobody did growing up. More people are starting to appreciate it now though, since we've had such hot freaking summers. More and more people are like, yay winter. And I've been like, since like the early 90s, been like, yay winter. So I'm excited for it to start getting colder if it ever does. We haven't had a white Christmas in a while. Maybe this will be the year that we get a white Christmas. We shall see. I don't want to jinx it. That's the update. I'm just finishing up my dinner, and I popped out and took out the trash and checked the mail. I have book mail, so I'll do a little unboxing. I think I know what this is. People don't usually buy me anything on my wish list, which is totally fine. So usually if I get mail, it's stuff that I have ordered myself. Which, like, no one has to get me gifts ever. I had read a really good book in October called Night Shift by Kiara Ladner. And it's like about obsession. Sad girl lit fic, and I liked it so much that I went online to try to find books that were similar to it, and I ordered like 5 different books, and this is the last one to come in. Yep. So this is Stargazer by Lori Petrou, and it's Ashley Audrain says Lori Petrou's writing is melodic and immersive, a delicious read. I love the cover. So It says, it's a fine line between admiration and envy. I think this was another one about obsession. So it says, Diana Martin has lived her life in the shadow of her sadistic older brother. She quietly watches the family next door, enthralled by celebrity fashion designer Marianne Taylor and her fetid dollar, Oriel. Oh my goodness. Even the description on the back is like super purple prose and eloquent. She wishes she were a Taylor girl. By the summer of 1995, ooh, 90s vibes, I'm here for it. By the summer of 1995, the two girls are at university together, bonded by a mutual desire to escape their wealthy families and personal tragedies and forge new identities. They are closer than lovers, intoxicated by their own bond, falling into the hedonistic seduction of the woods and the water at a remote university that is more summer camp than campus. Oh my god, this sounds amazing. But when burgeoning artist Diana has a chance at fame, cracks start to appear in their friendship. To what lengths is Diana willing to go to secure her own stardom? Oh my god. Just that description is making me so happy and excited to read this. I hope it doesn't let me down. It says it's a literary thriller. Oh my goodness. I haven't heard anybody talk about this. That doesn't mean people aren't talking about it. I just haven't seen anybody talk about it. And I just, whoo. I know I said I was going to read Game of Thrones. No, I'm still going to stick with Game of Thrones. We're going to finish Game of Thrones, get through that, and then we'll decide on my next book. But if I start this book, I mean, would you blame me having read that description? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this. Okay, you'll be seeing this soon in a vlog, if not in this vlog.
I'm done teaching for the night and reading Game of Thrones. And I talked about how the others are so creepy to me. Here's this passage talking about them. So it's on page 558. And it says, in the darkness, the others came riding. Cold and dead they were, and they hated iron and fire and the touch of the sun, and every living creature with hot blood in its veins. Holdfast in cities and kingdoms of men all fell before them, as they moved south on pale dead horses, leading hosts of the slain. They fed their dead servants on the flesh of human children. So are these zombies then? Are these like fantasy zombies? Or are they vampires? Or are they a whole new monster in and of themselves? They're so creepy. I love it. My arm is not long enough to get your whole head. It's so cute, buddy. You're the best reading pal. Yes, you are. Look how cute he is. I can't even deal. How do I get anything done? How? Surrounded by so much cute. Buddy, I love you. Hi. It's Friday. This is Cherry. She's home from the vet, her little overnight stay, and her checkup went great. All of her numbers look good. So, just gonna drink my water. So yeah, it's Friday. I didn't check in yesterday. The day just got too busy. It got away from me. I lost control of the day. But Friday has been good. I worked and then picked Cherry up from the vet. Got great news about all of her thyroid and kidney levels. She's doing good. And she actually had not lost weight like I thought she did. She actually put a little bit of weight on, which is good because I have trouble keeping weight on this girly. But I think, the medication and food plan we've been doing is working for her. And I might have just been a little bit paranoid after losing Pie. So I'm glad I took her in and got her checked out, and that it was paranoia and not anything to worry about. So I am settling in for the night to read Game of Thrones. Today I worked, picked up Cherry from the vet, had time at the barn. There's Elle. He's also going to drink my water. Oh gosh, and he's gonna knock the salt over. And they're so funny. So Elle and Cherry are siblings. They're from the same litter, and they're so much alike. I call them the Bobcat twins because they behave so similarly. Like, they drink water out of my mug. They sleep in the same sleeping positions. Like, they're just so similar. So they're the Bobcat twins. Anyway, where am I going with this? Wow. I think I over-caffeinated myself today. Game of Thrones. Things are happening. Things that I am not happy are happening. And some of my favorite scenes, though, are of Jon at the wall in the north where the others are, because I am so interested to know what those creatures are, and I am really enjoying learning about them, and they're so creepy. They're just so deliciously creepy. I really am liking those scenes at the wall, and I hope that as the story goes on, we get more of that. Sure, if you hear noise in the background, I have Frasier playing. I have not yet watched the Frasier reboot. Are any of you Frasier fans? It's like my favorite show of all time. And I rewatched all of Cheers. And now I'm rewatching all of Frasier before I watch the Frasier reboot. I'm really excited for it, but I had to just start the whole cycle all over again before I watched the new one. Anyway, that's the update. I got the fire going. Gonna read. I hope you're doing well. Hello. I'm sorry in advance. My car is really loud. I have to go get coffee. Like, I woke up this morning so just feeling like a crushing weight on my shoulders, you know? And it's all first world problems. It's absolutely all first world problems. 100% first world problems. But it still just feels like a crushing weight. And I've been working on my house since January of this year. Dealing with a situation with my house since January of this year. And I feel like I've definitely made progress, but it just doesn't look like I've made progress. You know what I mean? Like, I put in a lot of work and I have made progress, but you can't see it yet. And that's starting to get kind of discouraging. And feeling like, oh my God, this project is just never going to get done. It's just never going to get done. I'm just going to be living like this forever. And it's such a crappy feeling because there's not a single room in my house that's where I want it to be right now. Because of this situation that I was left in. And like every week, well, not every week, but almost every week, I'm taking a load of stuff to consignment. I'm taking a load of stuff to Goodwill. I'm boxing up stuff that the person who used to live with me left with me. And it just feels like it's just never going to end. It's just never ending. And I'm not even really buying things to add to the situation, you know? Like, I'm not bringing in new stuff that I'm having to reorganize or get rid of or anything like that. So I don't know. It just feels like I just feel like I'm never going to get through this. And I'm just going to have to live this way forever. And I was feeling really overwhelmed by it this morning. And so I decided I'm going to take a pause and go get some coffee and like a croissant or something, and like hit the reset button, reboot my operating system. And when I come back, I'm going to clean my kitchen and start a load of laundry, listen to an audiobook while I do those things, and keep working on my main declutter areas that I need to work on. So right now my focus is on clothing and books, and I am using the Marie Kondo method. It's just taking forever because in the process of trying to get this done, I've also been working a demanding full-time job and 5 part-time jobs and finishing up a certification for grad school and like trying to get through taking care of my father's probate estate and all of that. And it's just like with all of that going on, I've only had so much time left over in a day, and then, you know, taking care of the critters every single day, and then trying to still make time to put food on my own table and keep my clothes washed, and, you know, and so with all of that going on, I just have had not a lot of time to really spend wholly dedicated to taking care of my house and getting it to where I want to be. And so I'm trying to give myself grace, but it's like, it's just frustrating right now. It's just frustrating. And I'm like, it's almost been a freaking year of this, almost an entire freaking year. And I'm still not where I want to be. And like, clearly I overshot and underestimated like how much time this is going to take me. And all right, thanks for listening to me vent. I will probably share some footage of my home when I get it where I want to be. Right now I only film in specific areas because I'm like embarrassed about other parts of my house. So I'm not going to give you a tour or a walkthrough or anything like that. I'm definitely not going to show before and after photos. And you'll naturally just kind of see my house as I vlog and as I am able to vlog in different parts of my house without feeling like so embarrassed about it. But anyway, that being said, I guess I just need people to know I am doing my best, because this week I got some fairly harsh criticism from someone in my life, basically just telling me that like I'm not keeping up, basically just telling me that, oh, I'm not keeping up on things, and I should be ashamed or whatever or whatever. And like, I literally said to them, like, here's what I've had going on this year. I am doing the best I can. And they were like, okay. And I was like, wow. So I just need y'all to know I am doing the best I can. Okay, I'm in the coffee line now. And one other thing I wanted to add to this little rant of mine is I'm also chronically ill and have chronic pain and have been, you know, trying to get through everything I'm getting through this year with chronic illness and chronic pain and no help, like zero freaking help. I had one family member offer to help me with my house, and then when like my schedule conflicted with hers, and since I wasn't able to bend my schedule to meet her needs, she decided it was inconvenient for her and backed out. So, and then she's one of the people who gives me so much crap about my house and like sits in judgment of me. And I'm like, I said yes to your help and you backed out. And like, I'm just so frustrated with people in my life right now not giving me any grace, because I'm working my ass off, and I have been all year, and a majority of this problem was not caused by me, right? This was a mess I was left with when someone moved out. So, I'm just, you know what I mean? I'm at my breaking point with this. So, getting coffee to hit the operating system reboot, whatever. And please, if you see something in my house that looks like a mess, don't criticize me. I can't take it. And I do my best to film a vlog in areas that are less embarrassing for me. They're still kind of messy, but they're less embarrassing for me. And know that I'm working on this. I'm working on it. I'm working every single freaking day. And I feel like there's no end in sight. even though I know that's not logical. So thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting me. Sorry to get personal, sorry to get grumpy, but this is real life. It is what it is. Oh, and I'll also say nobody on BookTube has criticized me. Actually, some people were like, you know what? It's really refreshing to see you like being real about your space. And I like it when you have a ketchup bottle in the background because it makes me feel less self-conscious about my space. And like, so I will say nobody has criticized me on BookTube. I'm just feeling defensive because of the people in my life right now. And y'all have been wonderful. So I'm not like reacting to anything that any of you have said.
Hello, let's go ahead and wrap up the vlog. It is Monday and I am on my quick little lunch break here. I didn't finish Game of Thrones. I have that much left. So I'll definitely finish it in the next vlog. I really am liking it. So much has happened in the last 20% of this book. It's intense. The audiobook that I read this weekend while I was working on house stuff was It Goes So Fast by, I think it's Mary Louise Kelly. And I gave that a 3 stars because it is not at all what the title and subtitle pitches it to be. It's just a standard memoir about her life as a journalist and a mother and trying to balance the two. But it's pitched as like this experiment where she does a year of no do-overs, where she's like, you know, you sometimes will be like, ugh, I can't dress up for Halloween this year. I'll do it next year. So the pitch is that she's going to do a year of not ever saying, oh, I'll do it next year. But she doesn't actually do it. Like, she doesn't actually do it. Like, she still chooses work over family, and she doesn't actually do the experiment. It's just a memoir. And that was really frustrating to me because I love the premise. Like, that's a cool experiment to do, but she doesn't do the experiment. So, I mean, it's a good memoir, especially if you like are really interested in current events and journalism. It's a good memoir, but it just does not do what it pitches that it's going to do. It really strays from the thesis pretty hardcore. So that was a 3-star read. So what did we read this week? We read In My Dreams I Hold a Knife and gave it 4 stars. Sidetracked by St. Abby and gave that 3.5 stars. Almost finished Game of Thrones. I got so close. I only have like 100 pages left. Almost finished Game of Thrones. It's on track to be a 4 or 5 star. And It Goes So Fast, which was a 3 star. Hope that you're doing well. Hope you're having a good November. If you just want to let me know that you're here, go ahead and leave a knife emoji because In My Dreams I Hold a Knife and Sidetracked and Game of Thrones all get pretty stabby. So leave me any kind of knife or sword emoji, and until next time, make sure that you continue to read good books, drink good coffee, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye!